The Athletic Show goes north of the border as the A's open up a 3-game set versus the high-flying Toronto Blue Jays. The A's are hot, taking 3 out of 4 from the first-place Astros at the Coliseum. And the green and gold will need all the momentum they can get as the Blue Jays have won 11 out of 12, and everything seems to be clicking for Toronto as they make their postseason push. Coming up, the new-look Blue Jays have their eyes set on October, and the A's will try to play the role of spoiler on Toronto's home turf. A's, Jays, Game 1 is next. We are in Toronto, Canada, inside the Rogers Centre, and the place will be jumping tonight. Big crowds expected for all 3 games of this series. The Jays fans are excited. Troy Tulowitzki, Drew Hutchison, couple of the big Jays, and for the A's, they're going to send their young right-hander Kendall Graveman to the mound. So it should be a fun series here in Toronto. It's the first of 3. It's the Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. Blue Jays are hot. They're the talk of baseball right now. They've won 8 in a row. And Ray, at the trade deadline, they went all in. They got big-name players. They also got some important smaller parts that make them a better team.
And I think a lot of times you make big trades and then things fall apart. That has not happened for the Toronto Blue Jays. Tulowitzki, they're 11-0 since he's been in the lineup for them. David Price, of course, the big-game pitcher. The ones you're talking about down the acquired. How about Revere and Lowe and Cliff Pennington? These guys know how to play. They got some veterans. And I think for the general manager of the Blue Jays, I think he just solidified his place in the Blue Jays as far as the front office is concerned.
Now, the A's got a couple former Blue Jays in their lineup tonight. Brett Lawrie, of course, and let's not forget about more recently, Danny Valencia, who's done a nice job.
You know, we have talked all season about Brett Lawrie. Keep him healthy, keep him in the lineup, and he has proven to be a very good player defensively. We know what he can do with a very strong arm all the way across the diamond. Swinging the bat, he's been outstanding. Everything that he has done for this ball club has helped, whether it's defense or offense. And again, key for him staying in the lineup. Danny Valencia has also done the job. He's been playing third base with Brett Lawrie over at second base. He turned a big double play with the Houston Astros. And of course, Danny Valencia also knows how to hit home runs as well as walk-off hits as he did on Sunday. So great additions from the Blue Jays. And I think from Valencia's standpoint, getting a chance to play after they let him go here. Lawrie, we know what happens with the trade, but 2 very good players now with the Athletics.
And Valencia is going to DH and hit in the cleanup spot again today. And a former Blue Jay, Kendall Graveman, will pitch for the Athletics, and he will be opposed by Drew Hutchison. So a couple of young right-handers set to square off in Game 1 of this 3-game series. It should be a fun series as the Blue Jays are trying to chase down the Yankees, and the A's trying to build off their 3-game winning streak. Lineups at first pitch when we come back.
TSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
That's a good hot dog stand right there, Ray. I've been there.
I know. I remember that.
I am serious. That is a good hot dog stand.
And probably before we leave, you'll be there again, right?
Yep. Maybe before this game's over. Who knows? Let's check the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. The roof is closed at the moment. There's a few rain showers in the area. So right now, 74 degrees outside. Breezy. Almost felt a little bit like a nice, warm fall day today. But it was very comfortable outside. But they thought about opening the roof about maybe a half hour ago, but there's a possibility of just a little bit of rain coming through, so they will leave it closed for the time being anyways. Let's take a look at the lineup tonight for the Athletics. It starts with Billy Burns in center, then Coco in left, Reddick in right, Valencia will DH, Vogt will catch, Laurie's at third, Davis at first, Simeon's the shortstop, Sogard will be at second base.
You know, we have talked about Chris Bass. We've talked about Jesse Chavez, no run support. How about 8 runs per game for this right-hander, Drew Hutchinson, who is 8-1 at home and getting all that run support? He should be winning a lot, but his record 10-2. He was supposed to pitch against the A's in Oakland, but he, along with a couple of teammates, were sick. It wasn't as if they were trying to hold him back to start at home, although that was the case, but he was sick, and it was R.A. Dickey pitching that finale in the Thursday afternoon when Scott Kazmir was traded. So Hutchinson does pitch tonight in his home ballpark.
And he kicks. First pitch of the game to Burns is fouled straight back. So we are underway. 7:06 local time here inside Rogers Center.
Fans must have been cheering that Billy Burns swung at the first pitch.
Yeah, they did their scouting report. And now it's 0-2. A nice crowd tonight. Crowds have picked up a lot recently here in Toronto. No surprise there. There's your umpires. Mark Ripperger is calling balls and strikes. And that gentleman right there is Jeff Kellogg, and he is the crew chief. He's at first base, along with Brian O'Nora and Ryan Blackman. Fouled again by Burns. Count remains 0-2.
Pat, you might repeat that note you mentioned about the attendance in Troy Tulowitzki signed. That's unbelievable. Are the tickets sold?
I read that in the paper today. Since the Troy Tulowitzki trade, the Blue Jays said today they have sold over 300,000 tickets.
That's incredible. I mean, just do the multiples just on one. I mean, they picked up a huge contract.
Sure.
And they got rid of one in Jose Reyes, but you think about 300,000 additional.
That may pay for his contract for this year.
That's unbelievable.
So they're into it here in Toronto big time, and they're the talk of the town, obviously, as the Blue Jays have won 8 in a row, and they're just a game and a half behind the Yankees, who come to town this weekend. How about that? Bounced. Goins quickly to first, gets him. Ryan Goins had a long way to go to his left, but he made the play and quickly threw to first, one away. The defense for the Blue Jays, Ben Revere, one of the newest acquisitions. He's in left field. Kevin Pillar is in center. Jose Bautista's in right. Then Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Goins, and Smoke on the infield with Russell Martin doing the catching.
And we will talk a little bit more about this turf when Kendall Graveman takes him out, because he's more of a sinker ball pitcher, but you could see how quickly the ball slowed up once the ball hit the ground that Billy Burns hit to second base. With the old turf, that ball's in right field, but it's a much softer turf.
Almost spongy. Huh?
It's really too soft, and actually probably too high, but very spongy. And of course the Blue Jays hit a lot of fly balls, and teams coming in, they put the new turf on, and I walked around, as I'm sure you did, and it's a very different feel. Right, it's a soft walking, but if you pound on it, it's still hard underneath. But it's totally different than one we've seen in the past.
And it's funny, you know, obviously the days of AstroTurf are gone. AstroTurf was just flat and hard. But this, I mean, I don't know what they call this now, field turf. They have some type of name for it, but it's really just AstroTurf that's just a little thicker and I guess a little bit more like grass, but it's still a type of turf.
And we will see also when a ball hits, it's ground up tires that is used basically for the dirt in this turf. And you'll see the black kick up, and that's going to be that substance. But it's still hard regardless. And you run back and forth as the outfielders will. The guys get on base a lot. The only cutouts are the dirt. That's the bases and home plate, the pitcher's mound, and that's it. So 3-2 fastball after missing with the backdoor breaking ball.
And it's high, and Coco has a 1-out walk.
And see, this is what Ty Walter, the A's first base coach, outfield coach, said about guys who do get on base, Burns and Crisp, and as far as running, stealing, you're pounding on this turf between the bases and, of course, into the outfield. I always thought Cap as a catcher didn't have to worry about it, but the catcher also backs up first base, which means you have to run on the turf in the foul territory.
So here's Reddick. Coco inches off at first, and the pitch is a strike to Reddick. A's come in 51-62. They won the final 3 games of that series over the Astros after losing on Thursday night. On the road, the A's are 24-28. This is the start of a 7-game trip. 3 in Toronto, 4 in Baltimore. So a good challenging trip for the A's. 2 teams in a pennant race, the Blue Jays and the Orioles.
I think as we talked in open, the great thing about the A's and the players playing the last couple of months, they see what they're going to be doing and playing some teams that are competing for the division titles or whatever, but still the A's also can realize they're still there. I mean, it's not as if they're completely eliminated. And for Bob Melvin, he will emphasize that with his players to continue to play hard regardless.
So 1-2 the count. Big shift on for Reddick. Interesting shift. Donaldson that's Donaldson playing second base. The gentleman on the right is Donaldson. So
and Tulowitzki, they kept a shortstop, and I think Joe Madden one of the first to do that when Longoria would move over in the second base position.
So Donaldson completely to the other side of the diamond.
And I'm always amazed. You see the left side? We're looking at a hitter in Josh Reddick who thrives on opposite field hitting, especially with 2 strikes.
And the outfield is pulled to the other way, which is always interesting to see as well. Coco way out on the grass or the turf, and there's a shot to second. Donaldson fires. Tulowitzki back to first. Got him.
How about that?
A nice play by Donaldson, and Tulowitzki made a nice turn. Close play at first. The A's, when you think about taking a look at it, Bob Melvin comes out in front of the dugout, so he'll wait on word from Mike Eldreddy and Adam Roden.
Watch him jump right here. He's going to jump, and there's your difference right there. Running through versus jumping.
So Bob Melvin is not going to challenge it. Boy, this was close.
No, they are going to look at it.
Yeah, I think they should.
They are looking at it. Yes,
I saw Bob walk back into the dugout, but I think he was safe, right?
I do too. And looking at it again, it's. I just hope they don't go by the call on the field because they called him out. And just so at times, in thinking of Parra, now that I think about it, when Parra was at the Coliseum with the Orioles, how he ran through the bag. Remember, they kept his feet down close and ran through the bag. And that's what ideally you want to see a runner do. Because when you jump, you just cannot pick up ground when you leave your feet to jump to the bag.
Jeff Kellogg. It's almost like he doesn't want anybody to know he's looking at the board, but he is.
And Brian O'Nora turned around also, both with headsets on. So is the ball clearly in the glove? That's the determining factor. And they're getting a lot of replay reviews, a lot of in New York, which is the same time zone that we're in. Which
it is very close, but I think he's more safe than out. But what we think doesn't matter.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it gives the official scorer an opportunity to say if it is a double play. Let's see, that was the third baseman over in the second base spot, so it's a 5-6-3 double play.
You're exactly right.
If that's a double play. Hutchinson continues to throw. Graveman waiting to go to the mound. Regardless, we shall see. Now that part looks like the ball was not in the glove.
Not quite.
No, it wasn't in the pocket of the first baseman's mitt. Safe.
Safe. All right. So call is reversed, and it's a fielder's choice for Reddick.
Nice call, Adam Roden. That's good. That's Adam's responsibility down in the clubhouse. And to Mike Aldretti, John Gibbons, the manager, the Blue Jays, thought he had a double play. Last year when Jim Johnson was pitching and bases loaded and they played second base and their jumbotron showed clearly an out and they called him saving. Gibbons was ejected.
Lost his mind.
Oh boy, did he.
So Valencia will hit with a runner at first and 2 outs. Gets a nice round of applause in his time here with the Blue Jays. In fact, he was a little surprised that the Blue Jays let him go. He was not let go when Tulowitzki came. He was let go when Ben Revere was acquired. And Tulowitzki was the first trade. Revere was right at the trade deadline. And that's ripped left center field. Pilar dives, can't get it, and it goes to the wall. Reddick hits the bag at third. He will score without a throw. And the A's take a 1-0 lead on the RBI double from Danny Valencia.
After an overturned challenge. I cannot remember one being that dramatic after that. And we'll listen to Brett Stephen Vogel's going to hit. But for that to take place after an overturn at first base and for Valencia to hit the first ball, Pilar plays great in center field. He does not come up with it. And the A's score a run. Well, that's a plus.
See, if you didn't like instant replay before, you should now.
How about that? Well, Danny Valencia likes hitting in general since he's come to the Athletics.
So here's Vogt. Vogt swings at the first pitch, pops it up. Donaldson, Martin, and it falls. And Martin goes into the dugout. And he seems to be okay.
And that's his new teammate, Cliff Pennington. He looks at him and goes, hey, I'm with you.
But he came out the same way he went in.
Exactly. There's a rail, and he jumped it.
And you know what? He didn't have to do that.
He did not have to. Actually, the ball stayed in play.
Watch where the ball lands.
Behind it, yeah.
So a heck of an effort, but it was also unnecessary effort. And, boy, he could have got hurt bad.
Seriously.
Watch the knee and how he lands.
Oh, man. He's airborne, and that you got steps that you walk up, and you also have the hard. Wow.
I don't want my catcher doing that. I'm sorry.
Not if you're trying to game it.
The effort's good, but I don't want him doing that. Not in the middle of a pennant race.
That was scary.
That was.
Because sometimes you can lean over, but all of a sudden you're jumping up on the rail, and then trying to go and make a. And you're right. He didn't have to. The ball stayed on the warning track.
1-1 to Vogt. Vogt loops from foul.
And meanwhile, Danny Valencia, first pitch inning from Drew Hutchinson, and comes back to Toronto. First pitch right down the middle, fastball. And the key, Pilar has made some unbelievable plays in center field, and I'm sure Valencia has watched him enough to think he's going to come up with it, and that close to being an out. Instead, with the black Roundup tires coming up off the ground, it was a double.
Vogt on a 1-2 pitch swings over top. Side retired. But Valencia stays hot. He gets an RBI double, so a half inning in the books from Toronto. 1-0 A's lead. for the Blue Jays. Troy Tulowitzki is hitting in the leadoff spot. Then it's Donaldson, Batista, Colabello, Martin, Smoke, Pilar, Goins, and Revere.
And Kendall Graveman, his second start against his former team, and he would like to forget quickly about that one because for the first time in his young career gave up 3 home runs, and all 3 of those guys in the lineup tonight. But Kendall trying to get back to the 500 mark. And win tonight would do that. He's allowed 12 home runs, and like I said, 3 of those coming in one game against the Blue Jays at the Coliseum.
First pitch strike to Tulowitzki, who has been inserted into the leadoff spot since his trade. Blue Jays don't have a real true leadoff hitter. So they just said, you know what, let's just put this guy up there because he's a terrific hitter.
You know, Buck Showalter's philosophy about Manny Machado, a lot of truth to the fact that if he's a good hitter, why not put him lead off and get some extra at bats throughout the course of the season.
0-2. Plus, if you get anything going from the bottom of your lineup, then it becomes real dangerous.
And Tulowitzki has speed also, but he brings power to the game. A lot of different possibilities when he's leading off.
Overall this year, 293 with 15 home runs and 59 RBIs. Three of those home runs have come with the Blue Jays. His 13th game with the Blue Jays. Donaldson will be next. Tap toward third. Laurie has it. Throws across 1-1. A's defense tonight has Crispin left, Burns in center, and Reddick in right. Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, and Davis with Stephen Vogt behind the plate. Vogt says hello to Josh Donaldson.
You know, you never really know what a player is thinking. In case of Brett Laurie, nice reception when his name was introduced. He has yet to hit. I'm sure it'll be a nice reception. But to have the first ball hit to him, get it out of the way. Just kind of
Simeon across the diamond. Donaldson on 1 pitch is retired.
Well, so far the sinker's working. But for an infielder, in case of Brett Laurie, who hits high energy anyway, to have that first one and make the put out, that's fine. And for Kendall Graveman, he could take advantage of this very soft infield. When first 2 have been that, ground balls left side. And all you have to do, I don't know if you could hide Easter eggs in this turf, but it's not like Tiger Stadium was, but this is as high and soft as turf I've ever seen.
First pitch is a breaking ball that Batista called a strike. Batista doesn't like it.
If he had hit it, he probably would have hit it in the 5th deck.
Yeah.
That's called a hanging curveball.
Batista as a hitter, and what he's doing right now is probably not a great idea.
Well, back-to-back high breaking balls, but seriously, they are both hangers, and not exactly where Kendall Graveman wants them. He's gotten the strikes called, but he wants the ball down much lower than what he's been throwing.
See, I mean, I love Jose Batista as a hitter, but to throw your hands up on the second pitch you've seen in the ball game is not very smart.
I agree.
And an umpire can act like it doesn't bother him, but you know what? It's going to probably bug him a little bit. And you can't quite blame the umpire.
And we're not talking just about the home plate umpire. We're talking about the 3 here and everybody else around baseball who might be watching. Word travels quickly. There it is again.
That one right there, strike 3 called. So Batista doesn't happen very often, but he does not get a swing off in an at bat. So a good first inning for Kendall Graveman. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout. fine Blue Jay fans. They appreciate Lori's years here and the fact that he was born in Canada. And that means a lot.
It means also a lot when a player is traded. I've always felt if he leaves on his own as a free agent, it's different than when he's traded. Because that means really he didn't have any say in it.
Sure.
And as young player as he is, you don't, at that age, you can see where he's born, his numbers.
Hits this one in the air, shallow center. Pilar comes racing in. He's got it. So Langley, British Columbia is a suburb of Vancouver. So he sees friends and family when we're in Seattle, right?
Absolutely, and that's that part of the country at that time, as mentioned, between innings. Vancouver at one time was in the Pacific Coast League. Now it's playing in Portland, and the Seattle team was there and a long time ago, but still a good part of the country.
Laurie was the Brewers' first-round draft pick back in 2008, and then traded to the Blue Jays. Got to the big leagues with the Blue Jays, and now an Athletic.
And we remember when he showed up and what success he had, and running up and down the dugout.
I remember we thought, wow, this guy's he's high energy, and now that we know him a little bit, we shouldn't be surprised. 0-2 pitch to Ike Davis, hit toward left. Ben Revere is right there. He's got it. They're 2 away here in the top of the second inning, and that'll bring up Simeon.
Notice the defensive alignment for Ike Davis, and of course, if you recall, the only win the A's had was the walk-off when Jose Reyes was playing shortstop, shading pretty much up the middle, but Tulowitzki, same area. Although maybe Hutchinson, now Tulowitzki has moved more to shortstop. Hutchinson does not quite throw as hard as Osuna does. That young 20-year-old closer throws 97 miles per hour. But Ike Davis hitting more and more to the opposite field, like several of the left-handers.
Hard breaking ball from Hutchinson. 1-1 the count. Marcus Simeon, a little 6-game hitting streak. 9 for his last 21.
Hutchinson, as far as his pitch selection, he's kind of like a reliever, sinker slider pitcher with an occasional changeup. 2 and 4 seam fastball. Does try to get the ground ball outs, and especially with his soft turf.
There's a shot to right field. Batista dives and he caught it. Heck of a play by the right fielder, Jose Batista.
That is the 3rd out, Jose.
He's got to remember that there's 3 outs to every inning. And that was a heck of a play. 3 up, 3 down for Drew Hutchinson. We're going to the bottom of the second. 1-0 A's lead. Rogers Center, the CN Tower. And if the roof opens, we'd be able to see that CN Tower.
That's right.
Or as the great Monty Moore used to call it, the CNN Tower.
Yeah. I'm just thinking there were a couple of gentlemen up. Maybe they were trying to push. Maybe it won't open. They had to try to push it. There were two gentlemen standing up there where it's open a little bit.
A little bit outside to Colabello. 1-1 the count.
Encarnacion not in the lineup and been bothered with injury. Thought maybe he'd be back in the lineup, but that's a big bet not to have in the lineup.
He's got a little finger injury, middle finger.
It hurts him for 3 games.
It's been bothering him. He did not play on Sunday. We're talking about Edwin Encarnacion. And the Blue Jays were hoping 2 days off would make it feel better, but every time he hits one off the end of the bat, it vibrates right to the middle finger. So he's sitting out again today. And that got home plate umpire Mark Ripperger.
A direct hit.
Oh, man.
He's got no protection with the catcher. Straight back off Colabella onto the mask of Ripperger. A lot of padding, which is good. On the face, the forehead, steel bars. As much protection as you can get. I'd hide behind Stephen Vogt if I were him.
2-2 pitch. Left center. Coco coming in. He'll play it on a hop, and it bounces over his head. And Colabello's going to get to second.
That's too bad. When you're a ground ball pitcher and that happens, takes a double play away. Coco's played enough in the outfield to know that if it hits in front, it's going to hop regardless. I don't care how soft it is or how hard it is. Left this ball up a little bit, Colabella. And once it hit, Coco could not get it, but instead of coming in, start backing up quickly. Don't wait for it to hop because you can't jump high enough to get it. And fortunately, Billy Burns was backing up because that held Colabella to a double. Again, which should have been a single.
So indeed it is a double, and here's Russell Martin. Martin hitting in the 5th spot, and we said it during the pregame show, right? Is when you're playing this team as hot as they are in this ballpark, you really cannot make any mistakes because they will take advantage. And that was a mistake by Coco. Now Graveman will try to pitch around it. One the count to Russell Martin, hitting .255 with 15 home runs and 50 RBIs. Outfield shifted toward right center. Coco well off the line and left. And now 2-1 with Justin Smoke waiting in the on-deck circle.
You're just thinking, there's what, just here in Tampa Bay, the only 2 parks that have the artificial surface?
I think so, yeah.
So it's not like you're playing on a lot, but you still have to be aware when you are playing on it.
Fastball runs inside, 3-1. And a 3-1 slider, and he went around.
I was going to say, quickly check. Yes.
Also, Martin took his shin guard off and he was down. He was headed to first base.
That's a tremendous sales job. He probably could sell anything with this sales job. I thought when he swung, I mean, it could have gone either way, but for the first base umpire, that head going out, that's usually a determining factor. And you're right. He had stripped down everything, taken off the shin guard, his elbow pad, reapplied.
So the count full. And he grounds this one towards Simeon. Looks at third. And then throws wide. And that's going to allow a run to score. And it's 1-1. About as routine as you could get, and he just flipped it over there, and it wasn't even close.
Well, that was a bad throw, but this is a tailor-made double play. Colobella's still at first base. It could have been 2. He should never have looked to third because the ball was hit too slowly, and then did not throw it with a lot more conviction. And Colabella running because the ball was not hit that hard. And there are really 2 mistakes already in this inning. It's helped the Blue Jays score 1 run and a runner at second and nobody out.
So here's Smoke. Shift is on for Smoke. Fastball a little bit outside. So Marcus Semien makes his 30th error of the year. And you could tell just when he went into his throwing motion, Ray, that he was not going to be aggressive with his throw.
The more time he's had, really the worse the throws have been. And he knows it. But again, I was talking to Ron Washington. There is so much this young man is going through on a daily basis. And it's so hard at this level to get instructions. And even Ron said it best. He said spring training is the time that they should be doing all this. And trying to do it during the season, and then you're thinking about every time something happens, is everything working correctly? And then at the point you don't think, that's when it works the best.
Two-one pitch to Smoke. Big swing, and he fouls it right at home plate. Count even at 2-2. Smoke's first year with the Blue Jays after a handful of seasons up in Seattle.
Still find it hard to believe that his grand slam Saturday at Yankee Stadium, the first ever grand slam by a Blue Jay at Yankee Stadium, with 179 bases loaded. Was that some unbelievable number?
Bases loaded situation.
Yeah, and never before a grand slam since '77 until Saturday.
That one's driven left field, and that's trouble. Bounces up off the wall. Russell Martin's being waved home. He's going to score. Smoke is out at second base. Smoke didn't think so.
Well, it should not even have been a play. I was surprised, and I think they're going to look at it, but pitches away. Smoke, this is what he has done so well with the Blue Jays. And opposite field, I don't know if he thought the ball was a home run. I don't think he was running out of the box. And one hop off the wall. We know Coco doesn't throw that well, but a perfect throw to second. Safe. I don't know. It looked like his foot might have got in. They want to take a look at it and see, but perfect throw by Coco. It's just a matter of the foot in before the tag was applied.
That's Jeff Kellogg who went over there, and he's already 0 for 1.
He's 0 for 2. I think his foot's on the bag whenever the tag was applied to the foot. That would be great if the A's could get an out. To be honest, I don't think it should have been that close, but one hop off the wall, opposite field. Don't look, umpires.
Well, they're showing it obviously up on the big jumbotron board. It's very close. I would not say that it's a clear missed call. When does Sogard get the glove? Maybe safe.
Well, and you know, as it turned out, it looked like Kellogg was blocked. But see right here, he's blocked. He cannot see the tag of the foot at the same time.
They're chanting safe, safe, safe here at Rogers Center.
They didn't do that when Reddick was on the first base. Usually that front foot, when you do the feet first slide, it's a pop-up, and the front foot is elevated, and that's when the tag is applied. But Smoke looked like he tried to keep his foot close to the ground, sliding in feet first.
So whatever happens here, a run has scored, and it's 2-1 Blue Jays.
We'll also see if that lucky number 13 is lucky, or if it's, I think for him, wearing 13 this year has turned out to be a good thing for him, because some would say it's unlucky, but it has turned out to be a very good number for Justin Smoke, because he did not put up the numbers in Seattle like he is here.
That's right. We just were told that Smoke was wearing 14. He gave it to David Price.
Yeah.
So we had a call overturned in the first inning, and actually that helped the A's get their run in the first. This one being looked at a little bit longer. I agree with you, Ray. I'm surprised it was that close at all. I was almost conceding a double for Smoke, and then you realize that Coco had a shot at him, and Coco made a very good throw.
You know, I just saw when he swung and he took off out of the batter's box, did not look like he was running hard. Almost as if, you know, sometimes you hit the ball, you think it's a home run, you're not going to run hard. Here they come.
Yeah, they changed it again. So it will go as a double for Smoke. So a double and an RBI. So it took 3 minutes and 11 seconds to overturn that call. So we've had 2 overturned calls in this game already, both the calls made by the same umpire. So here's Kevin Pillar. He bunts it, and it's going to roll foul.
I'm thinking, watching Smoke at second base, I thought he was motioning into the dugout for the challenge. He wasn't. He's just doing his little thing that they do after they get a hit. It's almost like country breakfast where they eat it. He's doing something. I don't even. Maybe he thought he should have been safe all along, and they decided to challenge. Maybe they didn't know he's called out. But it was overturned again.
Pillar hitting .260 with 7 homers, 39 RBIs. Taking over that center field job.
Yeah. Well, if Saunders had been healthy, had been the 4th outfielder. That's the amazing thing about his season this year. And now, even with Revere coming over, Revere's not playing center. They're just leaving Pillar there, and what a season he has had.
Yeah, he's a terrific defensive center fielder. So almost anything he does offensively is a big plus, and he's been a productive offensive player. 1 and 2 the count.
You saw the numbers that flashed up there: 7 and 39, 7 home runs, 39 runs batted in. But I always said defense up the middle, and being a center fielder, they have Martin, a veteran behind the plate, got the double play combination, and Pillar handling a lot of the area in center field.
Shoots that one towards Sogard and kicks it around, and everybody's safe.
Can we start this inning over?
So it looked like a little in-between hop for Sogard, and again, the ball acts a little bit different on this turf. Not an excuse. I just think it takes a little getting used to. Let's see in-between hop.
There it is. Yeah, it came up on the heel of the glove, and Sogard made an error at the Coliseum where he charged the ball in the shift plan in the shallow right field and was charged there, and that broke up a string of consecutive errorless games, and now another one on this turf. You know, in reality, and I hate to emphasize this, but the A's should be back in the dugout with a 1-0 lead.
No question. Should have been a single and
a double play.
A ground ball to short.
Double play ground ball. Smoke's double to left field, and then this ground ball out, and the A's are in the dugout. And meanwhile, nobody out.
Nobody out.
2 in, first and third.
This is Ryan Goins playing second base. Blue Jays regular second baseman Devin Travis is back on the disabled list. We saw Devin Travis in Oakland a couple weeks ago. Good looking young player, hitting over 300, but he's injured his left shoulder twice this year. He is expected back at some point in September. Goins in there until then. Devin Travis, the right-handed hitter.
Travis at second base. We saw him in Oakland. Throws like Scope does from Baltimore.
Yep.
He turns a double play with a bullet to first base. And he's hoping to get a double play ground ball with Goins, who has speed, so it's tough to double him up anyway.
That one bounced slowly. Sogard charges. It'll get a run home, and a very productive out for Goins as Smoke comes in to score, and Pilar goes to second. So 3 runs here in the second inning for the Blue Jays. So give Goins his 28th RBI. So after 11 pitches in the first inning, 23 so far for Kendall Graveman here in the second. So here's Ben Revere, and Ben Revere takes a strike. Blue Jays just scored their 600th run of the year. They are running down a dream. Tom Petty reference.
71 ahead of the Yankees.
That's unbelievable. I mean, they're just blowing by everybody in runs scored.
And Drew Hutchinson has a third of those.
He's a happy man.
He's got 3 more tonight in the second inning that probably shouldn't have any. So I guess when you're living the dream, you're living a dream. For Hutchinson, that's a dream, because when he's been in the game, the club has scored him an average of 8 runs per game.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So gives up a run in the first inning. Big deal. No big deal. 2-0 to Revere. An old foul. They'll stretch that out a little bit. The Blue Jays are second in the league in home runs. Only the Astros have hit more. Right in the middle of the pack in stolen bases. They don't need to steal a lot of bases, but they're first in doubles. They're first in walks. They're first in slugging and first in on-base percent. And they're playing in a hitter's park, which makes it tough when you come in here. Slapped foul. I think the one benefit of playing and having the offense that the Blue Jays do, if you're a pitcher, you don't panic if you give up a run or two, because you just figure, so I give up a couple of runs. I mean, Drew Hutchinson has a 5+ earned run average, and he's 10-2. Over 5 earned run average. That says a lot when you're getting 8 run support. And I would think unless a pitcher could come in and completely shut down this offense, they're going to score runs.
One hopper to Sogard, who throws out Revere. Pilar to third, 2 outs.
Okay, you see that back-to-back play Sogard has made both times he's jumped to catch the ball, kind of anticipating when the ball hits the turf. Is he going to bounce over his head? He did it with Goins hitting the ball to second base. Watch as he comes in. Just not as kind of a mini leap there, but you know, once it happened to Coco, the first batter, then you start getting a little gun shy as a fielder when the ball hits off the turf.
And that's why, I mean, don't you agree? First game in, it's a little different. Now you can take 100 ground balls in this stuff in batting practice, but the ball comes off the bat a little bit different when the regular game starts.
That's right. And in this inning, really just the ball that Colabella hit, base hit, turned into a double, and Smoke. Everything else has been on the ground. And so you have a ground ball pitcher in Kendall Graveman who's getting the ground balls that he had hoped to get when he started the game. Did it in the first inning, first 2 batters.
So a 30-pitch inning for Kendall Graveman, and he's trying to get Tulowitzki and get his team back in the dugout. Hard slider. These are the kind of innings they're tough on any pitcher, especially young pitchers. Foul straight back. Tulowitzki got a good pitch to hit. Very strange seeing Tulowitzki in any other uniform than the Colorado Rockies. That trade, I mean, there had been no rumors of that trade.
That's right.
I do not remember reading anything about the Blue Jays making a run at Tulowitzki, and all of a sudden it just happened. We were in Los Angeles when that deal went down. Hit hard to Simeon, who throws low, and Davis digs it out. It pops up in the air, and he grabs it, side retired. So the A's give up 3. We're going to the 3rd. 3-1 Blue Jays. PG&E together building a better California. 3rd inning from Toronto. It's 3-1 Blue Jays. Sogard takes the first pitch outside from Drew Hutchison. Talking about Hutchison and his run support this year. Here's a perfect example. Drew Hutchison, you got to stretch back since 2000. Highest run support average. Sean Estes the most in 2000. Hutchison is second. 8.08 runs per game this year. And that's runs scored while he's on the mound. Pilar coming in, Tulowitzki going out, and it drops for a hit. So Sogard gets the A's second hit, a bloop single.
Yeah, the key that you just said, while he's on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, if once he's out, then the runs that are scored do not go into that run support column.
Watch when the ball hits this turf. Boop, there comes that.
Checks up.
Ground up tires.
But here's a perfect example, Ray, of how it's going. In his last 5 starts, he's 2-0 with 3 no decisions. His ERA, 6.12. That says it all right there. That's his season.
With 2-0 and 3 no decisions.
Very good at home, not good on the road. Now, we're not saying he's not a good pitcher, because he's actually always one of the Blue Jays' top prospects, and still is, only 24 years old. He's just benefiting from a very good offense right now, and that's why his record is 10-2.
In the past, it's been very difficult from the Blue Jays standpoint to get players who are free agents to come north of the border and sign with the Blue Jays. But with this offense the way it is, and there's some potential free agents coming up at the end of this year for the Blue Jays, one being David Price as a pitcher, he might reconsider signing. I mean, if that kind of offense, I mean, that's a great way to take them out. Played for Tampa Bay, got traded to Detroit. Detroit, good offensive team. They traded him here.
One to Burns. Burns slaps it to left, and that's a hit. So 2 on, nobody out. So speaking of David Price, he's our McDonald's True Stories. August 3rd, that was last Monday, made his Blue Jays debut, and he got the win. He went 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, a couple of walks, 11 strikeouts, and again, that was his Blue Jays debut, and he was very good. And then his second start, 7 shutout innings. So combined, he's 11-4 with a very fine 2.35 ERA, and in his 2 starts with the Blue Jays, 1 earned run in 15 innings. So he has done what he was brought here to do. But you're right, Ray. Don't forget about Mark Burley. He's a free agent.
That's right.
Estrada, who's pitched well for them, is a free agent. Price is a free agent. So they're going to have to rebuild their rotation a little bit. Maybe they bring Burley back. Price is going to get all kinds of money. Coco to Smoke. Smoke to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. So 3-6-3 on the double play. But you watch Tulowitzki just let it rip.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's perfect for the Blue Jays for Smoke to go to second, and Tulowitzki, knowing the speed of Coco Chris, getting down the line, and started right there with Smoke going to second base, then hustling back to first with Tulowitzki completing an easy double play, as it turned out, as the roof is open.
Is it? We got action.
Yeah.
All right.
Got awfully bright.
I was going to say it got bright, and it just cooled off a little bit in here.
How about that? 2 pitches, 3 outs, and out of the inning after 2 singles.
Yep. So the A's had 2 on, nobody out, do not score. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It'll be Donaldson, Batista, and Colabello. The roof is opening, and the Blue Jays lead.
Jose Canseco, Dave Henderson, other former A's players for the 2016 Oakland Athletics Fantasy Camp held from January 15th to the 21st at the A's new spring training facility, Mesa, Arizona. Got on the stands and onto the field and create lasting memories with former A's greats. For more details, go to hendersonbaseball.com or call 509-993-7338. Those guys look like they're perfect candidates for the fantasy camp. Get out of the stands, onto the field, create those memories. I think actually what he was doing, he took a picture of the roof opening, and he was saying, we're in Toronto, the roof is opening.
As we speak. Donaldson hits one high in the air, shallow left. Coco hustling in, and Coco has to come a long way. And he makes the catch for out number 1. So the roof is opening, and we're told it takes about 20 minutes for it to completely open, and it's in the process of opening up right now as Any threat of rain has passed.
And there's the CN Tower as you speak right there. It's
so it literally a domed roof. It kind of slides from home plate back toward the outfield, and the whole structure of the roof settles kind of on top of each other, really over the outfield.
It's really state of the art, even when it was built many years ago, because you think about Safeco Field in Seattle, where you have the canopy, you have to have the same area of the field for it to go back in right field over the railroad tracks. Here,
got a place to park it.
That's right. And right here, it just kind of folds up and open. It can close, and we may see it happen again.
Simeon throws, and Bautista is retired. So 2 outs here in the third. Dimensions: 328 down the foul lines, 400 to center field. The wall is the same height all the way around. This place opened in the middle of the 1989 season. First, then it was the Sky Dome. Rogers Communications, which is the big communications company in this area, purchased the team and the building, and that's why it's now called the Rogers Center. That was back in 2005.
They can do anything they want.
They can. I'd like to meet these Rogers people because their name is all over the city.
Try your phone.
They are the big time.
Yeah.
But Toronto's a beautiful city, especially this time of year.
I was told by one of the gentlemen in the PR department, he said that the capacity is no longer over 50,000. They've increased the concourses, and it's at about 48,000 plus. And he said you'll see sellouts at about 46, because they have some areas that I guess people in center field, it used to be you had to purchase tickets, but now you can just go eat out there and watch the game. But there have been some balls hit into those restaurants. People having a nice dinner, and all of a sudden incoming. And here comes a baseball flying into the seats.
Well, in 1993, they averaged 50,098 per game.
4 million plus, exactly.
They went over 4 million 3 straight years, 91, 92, 93, and obviously that was World Series winning years. So if you're ever going to draw like that, those would be the years to do it.
And we know what happened right after that, and unfortunately since then, baseball in Canada has never really thrived until now. That's why Blue Jays fans are very excited. No longer a team in Montreal, just the one in Toronto, and these fans, I'm still blown away by that number that you said of 300,000 tickets sold. I mean,
since the Tulowitzki.
I mean, you're talking about a couple of week trade. That many tickets sold. You call that strong.
Well, you do that, and then the team is winning big time, and you're closing in on first place. I guess you add that all up. And they've waited a long time, Ray.
Yes, they have. And I would think a ticket Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Yankees would be a very tough ticket to get.
Yeah, they said it's already sold out. Vogt coming over right in front of his own dugout, and he cannot quite get it. It rattles around inside the dugout. It's been a while for the Blue Jays. In fact, they are on top of that list that you don't want to be on top of. Longest active postseason drought, 21 years since the Blue Jays won it all in 1993. Doesn't mean they haven't had some good teams over the years, but just have never been able to put it all together. Could be a different story this year. Good pitch there by Graveman, and he has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We are headed to the fourth from Rogers Center. Blue Jays 3, A's 1. Brought to you by Hotel Transylvania 2 in theaters on September 25th. So the Blue Jays with a 3-1 lead, top of the fourth inning. As Drew Hutchison goes back to work. Valencia, Vogt, and Laurie here in the fourth inning. Valencia had an RBI double in the first, and that came after the third out of the first inning was reversed.
Yeah, how about that?
Which kept the inning going, and that was on a fielder's choice by Reddick, and then Valencia doubled toward left center. Should mention, Ray, that run that the A's scored broke a 26 consecutive inning scoreless streak for the Blue Jays pitchers. Remember, they threw back-to-back shutouts against the Yankees?
Against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. But it stretched into Friday's game as well, so they were just 2 innings of shutout baseball away from tying the franchise record for consecutive scoreless innings. But Valencia's double in the first stopped that streak at 26 innings. Good breaking ball there, and that's the second strikeout for Hutchison.
Hutchinson and Martin might have said so much for fastballs. How about just go to the sliders? And that's what he did. Sliders after the first one, and then a slider way off the plate. This one off the plate as well. But you think back to the time that it took New York to decide to call Josh Reddick safe on the overturn. Hutchinson did pitch, but as it turned out, Valencia jumped on the first pitch fastball that was elevated, and that's the best time to swing. Figured that you're going to get a fastball. He did, and when Pilar couldn't make the catch, maybe you knew something good was going to happen for the Athletics, but then a bad second inning.
They've been pitching great as of late, the Blue Jays. Like their team ERA since the All-Star break is 2.37. That's the best in the American League. So there's nothing they are not doing right now. The bullpen's been good. We know about the runs.
And one of the best things for them too, they are playing and still have 10 games left against the Yankees.
10 against the Yankees, yeah.
And so they're playing well against the team they're chasing. Plus, they did it in Yankee Stadium. Now the Yankees come here for a weekend series, and you're going to have the capacity of 46 to 48,000 per game.
Should be quite a scene here this weekend. In fact, they're telling us, Ray, that Thursday's game, which is a day game here, A's and the Jays, is also expected to be close to a sellout, if not a sellout. So not a sellout tonight, but a very good crowd.
And you'd be hard pressed to think that these fans may not come out strong and sell out close to every game.
Down the stretch?
Yeah.
You may be right. Vogt is retired. The Blue Jays have 10 left with the Yankees, 6 home, 4 away. So they have 2 more series with the Yankees here. And then they have a 4-game series in New York toward the end of the year. They also have 7 left with the Baltimore Orioles, who are 4.5 games behind the Yankees in the East. So the Orioles are in this thing. It's interesting, though. The Yankees have played good baseball for almost the entire year, but they got somebody on the move and in their rearview mirror now, and it's the Blue Jays.
Well, they did not make many moves. They had about 4 minor league prospects they said were untouchable. And boy, at the time of the year when teams were giving up prospects, then the Yankees did not. And we'll see in the future if that's going to be something that benefits them. But that's the race right now.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. As we speak, the Blue Jays are the #1 wild card team. Angels are the 2nd wild card team, and the Orioles are 2 back of that 2nd wild card team. Swing and a miss. Nasty breaking stuff there by Hutchison. He gets a couple of strikeouts in the inning, and he has a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the 4th coming up.
family-owned striped sock backpack presented by Chevron Techron Advantage Credit Card on Monday, September the 7th. 15,000 fans will receive this stylish backpack modeled after the preferred footwear of Sonny and Sogard. How about that? Get your Labor Day tickets now at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL. Preferred footwear. Never heard it that way, but you will see that on Labor Day.
2-0 to Russell Martin. Martin, Smoke, and Pilar here in the bottom of the fourth. Blue Jays scored their 3 runs in the second inning. Martin reached on an error and scored in the second. He's made a couple of errors in that inning. And now 3-1. Indians are leading the Yankees 2-0 in the fourth inning. They're keeping a close eye on that game here at Rogers Center. In the air, foul territory, and Ike Davis will run out of room.
Well, the 21st of July at the Coliseum, Russell Martin, what a series he had against the Athletics, and especially Kendall Graveman left that pitch up. You could see him jump because he knew it jumped out of the park. 1 of 3 Kendall gave up against his team, former team that is. But Russell Martin in that 3-game series hit everything. He wasn't even supposed to catch R.A. Dickey, but he did on the Thursday, and he even hit a home run that day. He was having a great series.
Ended up giving up 6 runs, and I believe all 6 were on home runs.
There were 3 that he gave up, and you know, for a ground ball pitcher, sinker ball pitcher to give up home runs, you know you're elevating. He just went through a little bit of a stretch where he elevated too many pitches.
Good breaking ball on 3-2. Not what Martin was looking for, and Graveman gets strikeout number 3.
Okay, if you have to tell everybody what was going on here at Rogers Center, take a look at this slider. What was going on between innings? You know, we're hearing all this cheering and crowd cheering.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That's right. They showed the early highlight from that Yankees-Indians game, and as I just mentioned, the Indians leading 2-0, and the place was going crazy
on every play, whether it's offense or defense. I looked around and said, "What's happening?" Then looked on they're in a jumbotron. They're definitely into it.
That game in Cleveland. Severino and Carrasco, the pitching matchup in that one.
Kendall Graveman, since the E4 with Pilar hitting, has retired every batter, and even more impressively, ground ball outs and a couple of strikeouts. So that one bad inning, the second one for, well, I wouldn't say even for Kendall Graveman. It should have been out of the inning. There's only 1 earned run on the 3. And not only the errors hurt the A's, but the unearned runs that have corresponded with the errors, even tougher for the Athletics.
Smoke doubled in a run and scored in that second. Off speed on 3-1, and Graveman gets the call. Full count.
A good breaking ball, the 3-2 to Russell Martin to strike him out, and the 3-1 breaking ball to Smoke froze him. He thought it was ball 4. Good pitch, though. I mentioned in Oakland, talking to John Gibbons, the manager of the Blue Jays, he said the one guy they did not want to give up in the trade in getting Donaldson was this guy pitching right now. Kendall Graveman, Gibby, good manager when it comes to pitchers, knows quality pitchers, and he knew how good Kendall Graveman could be.
Sogard, nice play, gets up, throws, and he took a hit away from Smoke. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth.
You're right. Look where Sogard's playing. Great range to his left, go down the slide, the spin, and getting up and throwing out Smoke, who thought he had walked on the 3-1 breaking ball, and even more upset now. Get robbed of a base hit in what normally is a hole into right field, but Sogard, great play, great range getting to the ball.
And folks, Ray was not making it up. That black stuff that kicks up every time is rubber. Small, chewed up, ground up rubber. About the size of a BB.
Yeah. Normally, you don't even see dirt on the grass in the outfield or in the infield because the dirt, usually the grass maybe stains the baseball, but when the ball makes contact here, it definitely pops up.
Pilar has a hit. 2-out single for Pilar. Keep an eye on him. He's a pretty good base stealer. He's got 15 steals.
Well, here you go, just like on two, bop, and then just every time it makes contact, right there, comes up, there it comes up, there it comes up, there.
So who can we talk to find out why does that rubber need to be there?
George?
George, our stat man, who put his hands up. I'm sure there's a very, very good reason why it's there, but you see, I mean, a lot of football fields are like that, and you see it in a football game. It's just flying all over the place.
Tampa Bay at Tropicana Field, the same thing. I think there's something about a base. They have to put a base in for it instead of because they lay it out.
Sure.
And I was told that the Argonauts, when they play here, and I think through this year, is that right, George? They'll finish after this year. They put a different turf down for football. They take this up, roll it up, put a new turf down for football.
What do they do with the rubber?
You mean that's ground up? That goes with it because that's the base of it. Wow. And then you see this big, probably asphalt field. Sure. I don't know. You guys see it? And then they roll it out. And I mean, it's hard. It's hard as a rock underneath this. But I think there's some base of that ground up tires are rubber that creates the base for this.
You see it on every field, so it's obviously it's needed. Two and one to Goins. Goins had an RBI ground out in that second inning. 3-1.
The changeup threw a little bit too hard, and it seems like Kendall Graveman trying to get strikeouts, trying to get good outs without too much of a problem, and except for the one inning, the second inning, which is a tough inning for him, not because of himself, but just happened to be that for him.
Goins thought it was low.
I don't think I would tell the umpire that that's low. I would say, was it low? Maybe ask a question. And I think even more so, swing the bat. I mean, that's if it's that close. And
so a runner will take off. And that one's outside, and it's a walk. 2-out rally by the Blue Jays.
We should have called him out just for principle.
Yeah.
I mean, you flip the bat up, tell the umpire that's not a strike. I'd say anything close, you better be swinging, but it was too far off the plate. I wouldn't take it if I were him.
Well, you'd be a good umpire. Man, there would be like, you'd be a combination of like Joe West and Eddie Montague. You'd have a little Frank Pulley in you. And nobody would mess around because you're big. You'd be like Ted Barrett.
Yeah. You know, there's a thing about there's 4 guys out there. It's called respect. Yep. And, you know, you show guys up and you got everybody. You're going to get every one of these fans looking at that home plate umpire because of what Bautista's done and what Goins has done.
In the air to Burns. So Ben Revere is retired. A couple of runners stranded, and we are through 4 in Toronto. It's the Blue Jays 3 and the A's 1.
Follow the Athletics all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for line baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. Was that a live shot, Peck, on the Jumbotron here? Because people were out off of the CN Tower.
Hanging off the top of the CN Tower, which I guess it's one of those.
You actually pay for the
thrill rides that you can do if you'd like.
You have to pay for that. No, thank you.
1-2. Ike Davis way inside. 1-1 the count. Davis, Simeon, and Sogard for the A's.
Remember Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler did that for charity. Oof. I'm sorry. How much do you need? No, thank you. Those people, are they up there? No, that was then a video.
Little pop-up, hustling back is Donaldson, and he makes the catch. Drew Hutchinson has been good so far tonight. He's given up 3 hits as he faces Simeon.
Well, it seems what Russell Martin and Hutchinson are doing after the first time through the order. Started to see a few more sliders, breaking pitches from Hutchinson. 2 strikeouts last inning. There's another one. Had Simeon chase that with a count in his favor earlier. That's a pitch as a hitter. If you can see the spin, you know it's going to be a ball. I mean, you could start your swing, but you see that spin of the slider, breaking ball, kind of a dime at the seams. And you could see where it's thrown and know it's going to break. It's going to be out of the strike zone, and you can take it. And that's what Marcus is doing better and better.
3-pitch guy. Yeah. And Hutchinson thought he had a strike. A little inside, and Simeon has the 1-out walk. So we've seen a pretty good slider. Have not seen a whole lot of changeups tonight.
He's basically sinker slider. The 66% fastball, 2 and 4, which would be a straight and a sinker, and then the slider, which really is kind of a relief pitcher's mentality coming in, throwing the fastball, throwing the 2-seamer off that, and the slider. As Buck Showalter about his pitchers who've been starters going to the bullpen, one thing he said, you can't throw as many pitches in the bullpen as you can as a starter because you don't have as much time to get loose to come to the game. Because Buck likes to send starters to the bullpen. He's got a few down there.
The Jays have done that with one of their good ones, Aaron Sanchez.
Absolutely.
Very young. They got some very good young pitchers. Sanchez in the starting rotation earlier. Now he's basically their setup guy.
Was that a result of the David Price? I know there was some talk that if they got somebody. No, that's right. He had sore shoulder. That's right. He's on the disabled list.
I think he was. They put him on the disabled list, and then when they brought him back, they put him in the bullpen.
That's right. Too much of a workload. That's right.
Ultimately, he'll be back in the rotation next year. Donaldson waves everybody off, drifts into foul territory, 2-1.
That's right. That's what they were saying, that they start looking at young pitchers. Jesse Hahn with the A's, and figure if he wants to come back in September, he may not be able to build up his arm strength to be back in the rotation. And you'll see some of the young pitchers start to get close to the innings that they've thrown in the past, trying to go 15%, I think, over the previous year's amount. But you get on a winning ball club, you're starting to get your pitch count and your innings up to the point that start breaking down a little bit, and they want to take it a little bit easier on them.
Well, the Blue Jays, it's interesting. They have some, they got LaTroy Hawkins now, Mark Lowe, Brett Cecil, some guys that have been around for a little while anyways, in Hawkins' case a long time. But when the game gets late for the Blue Jays and they're winning, it's Sanchez and Osuna, 2 very young right-handers. We saw Osuna in Oakland. He's actually pinned a loss on him. Broken bat, slowly hit. Goins charges, flips to first side, retired. So another pretty good inning for Drew Hutchinson. So Tulowitzki's going to lead it off. They like his jersey here already. He's going to be here a while. We'll be back. California is brought to you by Domino's.com. Carry out any large 2-topping $5.99 pizza and get a free CSN cheer card. That's just outside Rogers Center. As Troy Tulowitzki steps in. First pitch is a strike to Tulo.
That was a creative sign. Happy Tuesday. Tulo Day. That's pretty neat.
Happy Tulo Tuesday Day.
Yeah. It being Tuesday.
It's grounded out twice. So when the
there it is.
When the Blue Jays got Troy Tulowitzki, they also got his contract, which is a deal that runs through 2020. So if they choose, he will be here a while. The contract he signed with the Rockies was actually an extension. It was a 7-year, $134 million extension that started last year. Mike Davis may have a play, and he lost it. It stayed in play, but he lost it just for a moment and could not pick it up again quickly enough.
And that's a helpless feeling. When you put your hands up and there's nobody around, it does not do any good. Watch him put his hands up because he doesn't see it. But unless it's the umpire, Jeff Kelly's going to help him, which he's not, he can't do anything about it. Reacted late once he did find it, but too late. For too low.
1-2 pitch in and out of the mid of Vogt.
Well, the one thing Troy Tulowitzki said, and I know talking to Walt Weiss, who of course played with the A's, Rookie of the Year, and managing the Rockies, he said Walt took it very hard. Can you imagine a manager telling Troy Tulowitzki, you've been traded? I mean, there are certain guys you have on the team that you know is going to help your team be successful on the field, but off the field as well. And you got to tell him you're gone. But he did not have a no trade. And that's one of the big differences now. If guys get huge contracts, it's usually in there that it's a no trade. Maybe some clubs they will accept a trade to. I guess even Chase Utley was put on waivers by the Phillies today. But he has a 10-5, which means 10 years in the big leagues, 5 with the same club. You can veto a trade.
2-2 is outside. I have a feeling Utley's going to go, and he's going to go soon.
Well, he's going to
if
have
he
to
decides
go.
to say yes, which your point is ultimately it's his call.
No, but he said he would go, and it means if somebody claims him, the Phillies have a period of time in which they can pull him back, but if they do, they cannot put him back on.
Count remains 3-2 to Tulowitzki.
What is Utley's contract this year and next year? Was it
That's just this year.
Is it this year?
He had an option for next year if he got a certain amount of plate appearances, which he will not get.
Breaking ball again.
And a good one. So Tulowitzki strikes out, 1 away. Here's our Ford Wright choice. It has to do with the trades made by the Blue Jays. Of course, Tulowitzki also got LaTroy Hawkins in that same deal. Hawkins, longtime reliever. David Price from Detroit. Got Ben Revere from the Phillies. Got Mark Lowe from the Mariners. So it was a pretty good haul. It's interesting too, Rays, a couple years ago talking to scouts who said the Blue Jays lower minor leagues are loaded with young pitchers.
Right.
And they were talking, low single A clubs, and the A's got a couple young pitchers in the Donaldson deal, and then these trades, they traded 5 or 6 young pitchers. But the trades have worked out so far, and people are jacked up here. Grayman on the backhand fires to first. So Donaldson is 0 for 3. So Tulowitzki and Donaldson 0 for 6 come on.
You saw those numbers next to the manager, John Gibbons. John Gibbons' contract stipulates that if his contract is renewed in January, it automatically renews for not only let's say 16, but 17. So he always has a 2-year contract. Right now, his contract runs through 16, and I'm sure they'll pick it up in January, but it's a two-year contract that's ongoing.
Interesting.
Alex Anthopoulos, their general manager. I'd be happy if I were you too. Yep. But there was some talk that with Paul Beeston leaving, Alex Anthopoulos, there might be some changes, but I'd say the way the Blue Jays are starting to play,
and that one is belted deep and way out of here, and Batista has homered for the 27th time this year. They don't hit any cheapies here either.
In fact, to your point, in the first inning, his first at bat, when he didn't swing, he took 2 pitches that he just hit on a rope to left field. This is the same pitch he took and complained. And yet, that's what you're supposed to do with a hanging breaking ball, exactly what he did. To be honest, I was shocked that he complained in the first inning, knowing he could do that when he gets a hanger. That was a hanger.
So give them 79 RBIs. It give the Blue Jays a 4-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. There's Colabello. That's too bad. The breaking ball's been a pretty good pitch for Graveman today, but that one just hung.
Well, he left it in the middle of the plate versus breaking sharply away like he just threw to Colabello.
Colabello has doubled and scored and struck out. So Batista's been hot with the home run. Donaldson's hit a bunch lately.
Well, last year, Josh Donaldson stuck on 29. Seemed like he tried to get to 30, could not do it. This year, he's flown past that at 31. And still a lot of baseball remaining, especially in this part. That one did not need to be hit here to help it get out. That was going to leave anywhere.
Blue Jays now have hit 19 home runs in their last 10 games. So Scribner getting loose. Yes, it's been 101 pitches thrown by Graveman in 4 2/3 innings.
Well, the 33 is that it, George? 33 in the second after 11 in the first.
Yep.
With 2 errors, only 2 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. Mark Rippinger just got another one. This one hit the dirt and bounced up, got him somewhere. So he's taking one off the mask and then one off the lower extremities.
So 3-2 to Colabello. And Davis dives, cannot quite get it. So Colabello with a single. This was Batista on Sunday at Yankee Stadium. It's Tanaka. See, there's just not a cheap home run in the bunch.
Well, and that, like the curveball, where this one ended up. Off the facade of the second deck, but that was a fastball down the middle. Tried to go inside, made a mistake. And then the curveball that he hit tonight, a mistake. That was to buy time for Evan Scribner, a little bit extra time. So pitch count unfortunately got to Kendall Graveman, and
so we got a pitching change as Graveman is retired. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and Spog experts.
be Tuesday, August the 18th, for the Mark McGwire bobblehead giveaway driven by Chevrolet. Big Mac will be on hand as the A's will honor his career. The all-time A's home run leader helped the A's reach 3 straight World Series from 1988 through 1990 and win the title in 1989. For tickets, call 877-492-BALL or visit athletics.com. 1 week from tonight, the Dodgers in town. That will be Clayton Kershaw against Sonny Gray. The expected matchup that night is Kendall Graveman deserved a lot better than what he got tonight.
4 runs to earn. A couple of errors in that second inning, and really 3 defensive mistakes in that inning.
And he's shaking his head and probably thinking about maybe the hanging breaking ball to Bautista. But
that one's belted toward right. Reddick is there, makes the catch. So Russell Martin goes after the first pitch from Scribner. Side retired. Bautista with a home run. So 6th inning coming up. 4-1 Jays lead. Matrix, Silicon Valley's premier 24/7 entertainment destination. So we are in Toronto with the Blue Jays leading the A's 4-1 in the first of a 3-game series. A night game tomorrow and then a day game on Thursday. So a little work to do for the A's against Drew Hutchison, who's been good through 5 innings. He's given up just 3 hits. 1 run, that was in the first inning. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and only 61 pitches.
Double barrel action in the bullpen. I don't know if those are the long relievers getting some work or what, but I don't know why they would be throwing at this time.
Well, just grabs it. So Coco on the first pitch is retired. So Cecil on the right, Hendricks on the left, a righty and a lefty.
A little surprising. Hendricks just shut down, so maybe it was depending on what would happen with Coco since he flew out.
5.3 innings per start is his average.
Gets 8 runs in 5 innings.
Telling you, it's good to be Drew Hutchison this year. Reddick pops a foul. Hutchinson last year made 32 starts. He was 11-13 ERA, about 4.5. He's only 24 years old. And an 0-2 pitch, and Reddick swings and misses. Strikeout number 4 for Hutchison, 2 away.
It's one of the few changeups, as you mentioned, that he throws, and see it coming out of his hand.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Looked like a fastball. Reddick saw it there, and then swung over a pitch that was out of the strike zone.
So 2 away for Valencia. Hutchinson has retired 10 of the last 11. And the only base runner was a walk. He's not given up a hit since the 3rd inning. And he grabs that one on a hard hit ball, straightens up, throws to first. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be Smoke, Pilar, and Dorrance. Blue Jays leading 4-1.
Athletics, they had an overturn at first base, and Valencia with a double on the first pitch. Diving effort by Pilar. A run for the Athletics, but then it all fell apart for the A's. This what should have been a ground ball double play. Instead, Simeon thought about going to third, and that was Colabella who scored on the overthrow, and then the fly ball to left field. This also was challenged. A double bringing in Martin. And then Bautista did not miss the hanging curveball that he complained about in the first inning. Second deck here at Rogers Center. 27 for Bautista. He did not miss the curveball. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK. AT mobilizing your world. Brooke Jacoby, the former Indians third baseman, the hitting coach now for the Blue Jays, just sitting there and just keep swinging, guys.
It's a good job to have. Yeah. Hitting coach for the Blue Jays.
Remember, they implemented that new rule at Fenway Park because of Brooke Jacoby. Because the umpires now have to make their way up the tunnel on the visiting side and get snugly in their room.
It's a Brooke Jacoby rule. He aired out the umpires. And he was suspended for
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say 10 games or something.
I think it was a couple of weeks. But
must have been a good rant.
Well, and John Gibbons explained what happened, and they were there, and said some things happened, and nobody saw it except someone who was way up the tunnel and happened to be a security guard. He said, "Well, I saw him push an umpire against the wall," which he didn't. He didn't. The guy couldn't see him, and they came down hard and suspended him for the 2 weeks.
Nice backhanded play. Simeon straightens up, throws in time. Smoke is retired on a hard hit ball.
A great shift that time with Smoke hitting the ball hard up the middle, but Simeon right behind second base, actually to the right of second, and a couple of steps to his right. It's like turning a double play, which he did perfectly. Hard hit ball, but a line drive by Martin off of Scribner, caught by Reddick in right field, and this one headed up the middle, but caught by Simeon.
1 out for Kevin Pilar. Fastball a little outside to Pilar, who has reached on an air and singled. Angels and the White Sox are scoreless in the bottom of the third in Chicago. Santiago and Rodon, the pitching matchup there. A couple of lefties. Angels a game behind the Astros in the AL West. Pilar goes to retrieve the bat. Retrieve the bat, I should say.
Goins put in pine tar on the bat, which is not allowed, but he's the on-deck hitter, and figured if you lose the bat, you need some pine tar. That's a great curveball by Scribner, and he has a dandy, and he lost it. The on-deck hitter Goins retrieved it.
There's that big curve. Astros will be in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Good pitching matchup. Kazmir and Bumgarner. That's just a 2-game series for the Astros. So they're enjoying a long stay in the Bay Area. 3-2 now to Pilar.
Kazmir saw Chris Bassett give up the home run to Bumgarner. 3-2 fastball.
He won't give him anything to hit.
No, he should.
3-2 pitch, foul tip. Vogt hangs on, and that's the first strikeout for Evan Scribner.
That was a nice response from Mr. Pilar. You could hear it all the way up here after swinging and missing this curveball, and another good one, and foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. And Pilar thinking, I got a fastball coming, and nope, way out. But that could make just barely contact, and snow cone by Stephen Vogt.
So here's Goins. Good curve. Drops in first strike. Orioles are in Seattle. Game 2 of that series. Tillman and Walker. That will start in a little over an hour.
The A's will get Chris Tillman on Sunday. He was supposed to pitch in Oakland, but he was nursing an injury, and that's when Tanner Wilson started for him.
It's a 4-game series in Baltimore for the A's. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. Good swing by Goins. So 2-2 the count. Goins has an RBI ground out and a walk so far tonight. Curve is rolled foul. This crowd tonight, 39,381. Blue Jays coming into the game averaging over 29,000 per game, which is right about where they were last year for the full year. So, but they will, that average per game number is going to go up. Strike 3 called on a fastball. Good inning for Scribner. Couple of strikeouts, and we're headed to the 7th. Stephen Vogt's going to lead it off, and Laurie will follow. 4-1 Toronto. Fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to CSNCA Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. This one's from Matt Tingley, who lives in Dublin, meeting Mike Gallego on his wind-up action figure giveaway day. Thanks for the photo, Matt. We appreciate it. Matt from Dublin. 7th inning from Rogers Center. Blue Jays are looking for their 9th consecutive win. And they lead this game 4-1. Hutchinson back out there. He's sitting on 67 pitches, so his pitch count is really in very good shape.
6 pitches last inning, Cap, and that
was the big one.
That 4, a fly ball to second, strikeout, and a ground ball back to him.
That's Mark Lowe, who's been down there for a little bit, so he's close to being ready. Vogt drives one to center, hit well. Pilar going back, but he's going to get there, and he makes the catch. A well-struck ball by Stephen Vogt, but he is 0 for 3 on the night.
Long part of the park, but also with the roof open now, it does change as far as there are some elements that come inside. Maybe the wind blowing. We don't know how it affects baseballs, but off the bat sounded like he's going to go a lot farther than it did.
Sounded good.
Yes, it did.
It's a little breezy. The roof has been open since about the 3rd inning. Here's Laurie. Laurie in his return to Toronto, a fly ball to center and a strikeout. Rangers are leading the Twins 2-0 in the 3rd inning. Arnold Leone starting to throw. That Rangers Twins game is in Minnesota. Gallardo and Gibson, the matchup there.
Yeah, Twins are struggling too,
yeah,
which is kind of too bad because it had a great season and kind of a well, for Paul Molitor, their first manager, Toy Hunter going back there, and kind of a magical season. And it's kind of falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, they're now a game under 500, and they're 4 games behind second wild card spot. So they've dropped quickly in the last 10 days or so. One swing and a miss. 93 miles an hour. So this will be interesting, Ray. Will he throw him another fastball, or will he go with that slider?
I'll say a challenge.
And he did, and Laurie fouls it straight back.
That's a 3-run lead, and
that's what he should do.
Exactly, he should. A lot of times they don't. They try to trick him, and you know, if you threw them a slider that kind of looked like a good pitch starting out, he might swing because he's got that good of a slider. A 1 is a fastball. That is a fastball outside corner. Going with his catcher.
He had a good pitch there. He painted the outside corner at 94 miles an hour. So Laurie strikes out for the 2nd time.
And really, that's from Russell Martin's standpoint and Drew Hutchinson. Why not? I mean, you're basically a sinker slider pitcher anyway, and if you have that much in the tank, your pitch count's still down.
That's a strike either way.
Either way, and if you go average of 5 2/3 innings, you're going to say to the bullpen, "It's my game. Look at the pitch count. I don't have to worry about taking me out."
He's retired 7 in a row. He's getting ahead of hitters. And he does not mess around. He works quickly. And now it's 0-2. So the crowd doing the wave as we speak.
That's a fastball up a little bit.
Good pitch, and Davis swings through it. High heater at 92, and a very impressive inning for Drew Hutchinson. He's got a couple of strikeouts, and it's 4-1 as we head to the 7th inning stretch.
Is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Bottom of the 7th, and the Blue Jays with a 4-1 lead over the Athletics. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Arnold Leone comes in for appearance number 9. Takes over for Evan Scribner, who goes an inning and a third. No hits, no runs, with a couple of strikeouts. So a good performance from Scribner. Trying to keep this a 3-run deficit.
Well, it almost seems like it's a blowout, but it's not. It's just not, 3 runs. Right. And that's why Scribner doing what he did, and now Leone trying to do the same thing. And for Kendall Graveman, sadly, 103 pitches and had to come out in the 5th inning.
So Arnold Leone facing Ben Revere. Third at bat for Revere. Leone would like a bounce back performance. He gave up to Chris Davis grand slam against the Orioles. Two and 1 to Ben Revere. Ben Revere's career started with the Twins, and then on to the Phillies. He is not a rented player either, Ray. He's got 2 years of arbitration left, so Ben Revere cannot be a free agent until after 2017. So if the Blue Jays really want to keep him, they can for a couple more years. And he slaps that one down the left field line, but foul.
Well, the key word there was slap, and that's kind of his way of playing the game of baseball. Did it with the Twins. Phillies, we didn't see him as much, but seeing him back swinging the bat against the A's in this game. Hit a ball to center field, one second base, then he rolled over.
Three and 2. Last year with the Phillies, he hit .306, played in 151 games. Not a lot of power, but he stole 49 bases, so he's a pretty good player. He drives this one to right. Reddick back, still going back, and he makes the catch.
You know what they say about that? Right guy hit it.
Yeah. That would have sounded good. Wow.
They just talk about slap hitting, and then he tried to hit a ball 9 miles, and Arnold Leone, very similar pitch. See, there's a difference. Chris Davis hit that ball and crushed it for a home run, a grand slam. Revere hit it. It sounded great, same pitch, different result. Fortunately, big enough park, at least for Revere, that it stayed in the park.
So 1 away for Tulowitzki.
I'll try with this guy.
Good pitch there by Leone, right on the outside corner. Tulowitzki has grounded to third. He's grounded to short, and he has struck out. Got a pitch to hit there. Loops it foul down the right field line.
You know, one thing that's been consistent about Tulowitzki, of course, playing with the Rockies, but see under his eyes, it's the eye black. That usually is a look for a player during day games.
He wears it all the time.
All the time. But, you know, I don't know if it's something about the lights. It's supposed to deflect the sun,
yep.
But it must be something in the lights because he always wears it. And those are the peel-offs.
That's right. Peel them on, peel them off. So Tulowitzki, quiet night. He's 0 for 4.
Used to take cork and burn the cork and then put it on guys. You'd never get it off. That's a great curveball, back to back with Evan Scribner, now Arnold Leone, and that buckled the knees of Tulowitzki. He is 0 for 4 tonight with a couple of strikeouts.
So 2 outs for Donaldson. Crowd chanting MVP for Donaldson.
Here at Cap at the Coliseum, he struggled. Donaldson did. And of course, the last day hit a home run to right center. Does not get cheated.
He got a breaking ball to hit there and rolled it foul. 0-2. Donaldson third in the league in home runs, first in the league in RBIs. Just a bit outside. Here's where his home runs have gone.
Hit the one at the Coliseum to right center. That was a Thursday day game. But he's got 8 home runs to right field. But he's talked about how Roger Center the ball carries much better than when he played at the Coliseum. But he still hit 29 there.
Right there, strike 3 called. Donaldson knew it. Good inning for Arnold Leone. Couple of strikeouts. So 8th inning coming up. He's trying to get things going. Trailing 4-1. baseball, log on to csncalifornia.com as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting of this A's 2015 season. He's got breaking news, video, special features, and more only on csncalifornia.com. There's the CN Tower just outside Rogers Center. Hutchison back out there, and that was pitch number 80, and he's pretty dialed in right now. He's retired 8 in a row. He's got 6 strikeouts. And he looks in, gets his sign, and lets her rip. So he's in a pretty good rhythm with Russell Martin, the catcher.
Well, it seems that just watching Hutchinson, he is getting a sign. He's throwing. He's not shaking. I don't know. I have not seen him shake off a sign from Martin tonight.
Donaldson charges. Throws. Not in time.
And that looked like a correct call all the way. I don't know if that one will be challenged. We'll see. But Donaldson charged and playing back. This is just like what happened with Mark Canha on Sunday, out of the box with a ground ball. Actually, watch how Marcus swings, and he's running as soon as he made contact, and that usually turns out to be beneficial for the hitter, especially with the speed of Marcus Semien. He is smelling a hit, and he's got a hit.
So that's going to do it for Drew Hutchinson, and he's going to get a standing ovation from a crowd of over 39,000. The young man was very good tonight, so he deserves the ovation he's getting.
On Saturday, August the 22nd, all are encouraged to wear your Star Wars costumes and enjoy the postgame show from the outfield grass. Though space is limited, purchase a special ticket package to receive an R2-D2 beanie. First, visit athletics.com/Star Wars for more information. R2-D2 beanie. Have we seen a picture of the beanie?
No, I haven't.
I have not seen it.
So here's Aaron Sanchez. As we told you, he would be in the 8th if it was close. Donaldson, nice play. Sogard bunting for a hit, not a terrible idea. He just wanted to get that tying run up there, and he laid down a decent bunt, but Donaldson makes that play so well. So.
Anticipated nicely did Donaldson, and did not really panic once he charged and caught the ball.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So Aaron Sanchez comes in. He's been a starter for most of the year. but he's pitching out of the bullpen now.
He also has a good fastball, and something I'm sure John Gibbons happy to get some more power down in the bullpen.
First pitch to Burns is a fastball high. Sanchez was the 34th overall pick in the 2010 draft, so high hopes for Aaron Sanchez. Andrew Hutchinson was very good tonight. 2-0.
One of the other relievers, talking about Bo Schultz, that he saw in Oakland.
He's having a good game.
Yeah, he closed the game the Thursday when Osuna was not available after pitching the previous night.
And a fastball with quite a bit of movement. And it's called a strike. Burns thought it was outside. It looked like it may have been a little bit.
Good running action for the fastball, and Burns, you're right, started there and realized don't swing, and see Martin kind of set up in the middle of the plate, allowing the movement to go what he thought would be the corner. According to Mark Rippinger, that was it.
Down the left field line, but foul. 2-2 the count.
Revere shading Billy Burns over towards the line, but not nearly as shallow as what the Astros were doing in the 4-game series, especially Marisnik playing shallow shortstop. Just like to see Billy Burns hit one to right center, just to watch him run, because it would go and just run forever.
And he lines one left center field. That'll get down for a hit. Pilar cuts it off. He gets it back in quickly. Airmails everybody. Simeon comes in to score, and it's 4-2.
Well, even though the bunt by Sogard did not get himself on base, but it helped get a runner in scoring position, and inside out swing by Billy Burns stayed on it, pulled the hands in, and watch Pilar in the outfield when he goes in the slide. Watch what happens. Watch this. Whoop.
A little bit of everything coming up.
That's so much stuff. Maybe that's why I overthrew the cutoff man. That's a great job of hitting by Billy Burns, though. Sliced the ball over to Tulowitzki, and then Pilar with Simeon reading it all the way and scoring easily.
So that run charge to Hutchinson. So he's done now statistically. Gave up 2 runs in 7+ innings as Coco Crisp steps in. No runs allowed in the last 18 1/3 innings for the bullpen. So they've been doing their job down there. Right on the outside corner, 95 miles an hour from Sanchez.
95 with movement. How's that? And moving right to the corner.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner, 96 miles an hour. So 2 away here in the 8th inning with a run in.
Well, he painted outside and then painted inside, and that's just taking a great pitch, the fastball, using both sides of the plate. Has he had a sore shoulder?
Doesn't look like it. He does have a good fastball.
Yes, he does.
95 with movement. And we talked about Burley being a free agent, Price a free agent, Strada a free agent. So they will have to rebuild that rotation next year, and Sanchez will probably go back into the rotation. Remember Marcus Stroman.
That's right.
Fine rookie last year who had a really good year. He hurt his knee, tore up his knee. He'll be back next year. He's trying to get back this year. Don't know whether that'll happen. But
well, they said if he comes back, maybe in the bullpen in September.
He faced the A's, and I know he was very good.
He did, and he was very impressive. Short in stature, but not with a fastball. He is not short on a heater.
Sanchez grabs it. Reddick is retired, so Reddick's 0 for 4. A's do get a run. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's now 4-2 Toronto.
Of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Here's our game summary. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2-5-2 for the A's, 4-5-0 for the Blue Jays. Kendall Graveman, 4 2/3 innings. He did not get much help from his defense tonight. Ended up allowing 4 runs, 2 of them earned. He's got a run in the first and a run in the 8th, and Drew Hutchinson was very good. So bottom of the 8th, Jose Bautista steps in against Arnold Leon, who had a 3-up, 3-down 7th inning with a couple of strikeouts. 4-2 Blue Jays lead here in the 8th. And that one's driven high in the air to right field. Reddick back a little bit. He's got it.
Fans got excited at the sound of that, but it was not going anywhere off the bat. That's called a good fastball from Arnold Leon that was up in the zone enough that Bautista, even with a big swing, could not really drive the ball, unlike what he did with the hanging curveball in his previous at bat.
So Colabello steps in. Colabello takes just a bit inside. He complains a lot, Jose Bautista. I don't quite understand that. I don't think he needs to do that. More action for Reddick. This is a tougher play, and it's over his head. Reddick grabs it. Colabello digging for second. The throw is there, and Simeon cannot quite handle it, and Colabello has a double.
Colabello hit the ball and rounded first base. Figured it's going to be out if he tries to go for 2. And Josh, a strong throw, and looked like at that point still had a chance, but the ball dropped out of the glove of Simeon. Short hop, no way to handle that.
Even if he does pick it clean, I don't know if they would have had him. It would have been close. So Colabello's going to leave, and he finishes 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a single. So a big night for Chris Colabello, getting in that cleanup cleanup spot. So Cliff Pennington is the pinch runner. Our old friend Cliff, former A's first-round draft pick, just acquired by the Blue Jays from the Diamondbacks. Young has a quick meeting. Abad starts to throw. And Russell Martin is the hitter. Blue Jays looking for an insurance run.
I think your description as we open the game tonight, talking about the extra pieces that the Blue Jays picked up, and I would think the extra pieces, maybe other than Revere, might not be playing, because Cliff Pennington, more insurance. I don't know where he would play unless Goins at second base, something happens to him. Tulowitzki's going to play short every day. Donaldson at third. But Pennington, a good player to have just in case. If anybody can handle 27th out of a perfect game as a rookie, he should be pretty good. At least not going to panic.
Remember a couple years ago, right, when Pennington, when he was with the A's, moved over to play second base, and Jamal Weeks was struggling some defensively, and Pennington played second base. He was very good. And you ask the A's coaches, and they'll tell you that was a huge move for the A's. It was maybe 2012.
No, you're right. And I think in hindsight, once they saw how well he could play at second, they said, because that's when he went to Arizona.
That's right.
For Chris Young in that trade, and they realized, hey, he could play, and to have the shortstop arm playing second, that's a good memory, because he was outstanding.
Well, we will be back with you tomorrow for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Aaron Brooks, Mark Burley is your pitching matchup. Our coverage begins at 3:30 with A's pregame live. Get complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of A's baseball is Comcast Sportsnet. So that'll be tomorrow right here from Rogers Center. Burley and Brooks. So get here on time and pay attention. Mark Burley's pitching.
Talk fast, watch fast.
That's right. Commercial breaks, be ready when you get back from those, because Burley's ready to go.
You know how special it was tonight for Mark Burley to catch the ceremonial first pitch. I mean, that says a lot. Pitching tomorrow.
Burns back, still going back, and he makes the catch on the warning track.
If you go by sound, there's a lot of home runs today.
I'm telling you, it sounds like every ball is going out of the ballpark. Ninth inning coming up. 4-2 Blue Jays.
Son, and we talked about his record at home, 8-1 entering play tonight with 8-run support. While he did not get the 8 runs, still pitched very well. Fastballs early, then went to the slider and pitched into the 8th inning. 7+ innings. Good change up there to Josh Reddick. Fastball blew away Brett Moyer on 3-2, and 7+ innings, a couple of earned runs, couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Drew Hutchinson in line for win number 11 with the performance tonight. It's up to the youngster trying to save it for him.
That youngster would be Roberto Osuna, just 20 years old. And he is the Blue Jays closer. First pitch to Valencia. There's the good fastball, 96 miles an hour first strike. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 10 saves, 11 opportunities for Osuna. Another impressive young arm for the Blue Jays. Valencia, the RBI double in the first. He has also struck out and grounded out. One foul right side, and Osuna ahead in the count.
I think Dan Valencia playing behind his pitching staff and playing in this park, and knows exactly what Osuna can bring, especially with the velocity in his fastball.
Slider got him. One away here in the 9th inning.
Very impressive, and you're looking at 20 years of age, and great story in the local paper about him pitching against older players and how much has helped his composure on the mound. And for 20-year-old, well, I think you could put him in the category of one kid named Correa, who plays for the Houston Astros.
No question.
What a future for that young man at 20, and same for Osuna.
Well, you think of Hutchinson 24, Sanchez 24, Osuna 20. Those are the 3 pitchers we've seen tonight from the Blue Jays. That Yankees-Indians game is tied 2-2 in the top of the 9th inning in Cleveland. One pitch hit down the right field line into the corner. Batista's back, and it's over his head. He bangs up against the wall, and Vogt's going to have a double. Batista may have misplayed that a little bit.
Yes, I agree 100%. I was going to say the same thing, because the way it hit, took off, looked like it had a chance maybe to go down in the corner, but once Batista went after it and got to the warning track, figured he was going to catch it right there, and then overran it. He looked to see where he was in relationship to the wall, and then basically just overran it. So good break for the A's, trying to mount something in the 9th inning against a very good, hard-throwing right-hander.
Well, Stephen Vogt gets his 16th double of the year, and here's Laurie. How about this storyline? He is the tying run here in the 9th inning. Fastball in there for a strike, pop in the mid at 96 miles an hour.
I guess it's like an effortless 96 too. It's not anything but just nice and easy, and the ball jumps out of his hand.
Outside. Blue Jays also had a pitcher started the season in their rotation by the name of Daniel Norris, a very young left-hander, and he was part of the Price trade. So he is now with the Tigers. So there was a whole stable of young pitchers that the Blue Jays had and still have, and they use some of them in these trades. So 1-2 the count to Laurie. Ike Davis is the on-deck hitter. Outside, and now the count is even at 2-2. So some of the crowd starting to stand here at Rogers Center. Not close, and Russell Martin has to reach for it on the backhand. Soon overthrew that one a little bit, so full count.
That's a miracle save there. Hard slider, and now here comes your 97 fastball. Just sit on it and try to drive it out of Rogers Center, or at least over the fences at Rogers Center. Second son's fastball away. He's going to stay away from it.
In the air, shallow right center. Pilar broke back. Now he comes in and he makes the catch.
You know, and we've talked about it, Cap. You have a pitcher misses on 2-2 with a breaking pitch and throws 97. He's going to get.
Yep.
Here comes the fastball and
eliminate the break.
Exactly. Just sit, load up, and just try to drive it. And maybe he was, but look where he hit it, off the end of the bat, and it's not going to go anywhere hitting off the end like that. And smart pitching, catching as far as fastball away, forced him to try to go opposite field. Just couldn't do it. Now we have to look again. Tulowitzki playing exactly where Jose Reyes was playing the Wednesday night game against Toronto. Extra innings. He could not get around on 97, and he hit a ball to the gap, or at least a shortstop position, and Reyes had to dive for it. I cannot believe they think he's going to pull a 97. Maybe he will. Maybe he can. And
one pitch to Davis. Strike on the outside corner. It's 0-2. So now everybody on their feet. Over 39,000, and they are roaring, folks.
Running State fastball away, and he's going to go back out there with another fastball.
And he did, and it's off the plate at 96 miles an hour. What do you think about that, Ray? 20 years old, closing in the middle of a pennant race. Vogt the runner at second. Davis the tying run. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a changeup. So the Toronto Blue Jays are smoking hot, folks. They have now won 9 in a row as they take game 1 of this 3-game series over the A's. Hutchinson gets his 11th win. Osuna gets his 11th save. Took 2 hours and 35 minutes in front of 39,381. The final score tonight from the Rogers Center in Toronto. It's the Blue Jays 4 and the Athletics 2. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Biff Roberts starts right now.